We are still talking about Mr. Right or Miss Right. How do you choose the right one that will give you joy, that will give you peace? We have tried to make us to know that it is not just God forcing people down people's throat. Somebody will just tell me, if not because God revealed that person to me, I would never have married him or her. That one is pretense. If it is not pretense, it is ignorance of the truth. Because we didn't read anywhere in the Bible that God said, you must marry Sarah, you must marry Rebecca, otherwise I will deal with you. So if you are having a feeling inside you before marriage that God is saying I must marry that brother or I must marry that sister, otherwise he will deal with me, that is not on a scriptural foundation. It doesn't have scriptural basis. The will of God is not compulsory or burdensome. Even in things that are so important, God gives us choices. He said, I give to you this day, choose between life and death. He gives human beings choices, but he advises you to choose life. So God does not turn human beings to zombie when it comes to marriage. He allows them to make choice. But there are enough principles in the word of God that will guide your choice. So you cannot blame God for whoever you marry. Don't say, I didn't like that girl at all. It was just God that pushed her on me. Then you made a mistake. You are not following the right scriptural principles for choosing a life partner. God will never force any partner on anybody. It's either you finally agree. It might be based on wrong things. For example, maybe you thought you are getting old and then you just decided, I've prayed, I have seen a dream. If a dream comes and is wrong and you are suffering in that marriage, it's because of your mind that influenced it. Your mind thought you are getting too old, and so you just overlook certain things and you accepted somebody that will not be compatible with you, that will give you sorrow in the future. And sometimes it might be that you had some physical parameters that you chose above spiritual. For example, you saw that the man had a good job, the man had a lot of money, he's looking handsome, and you ignored other character traits. You saw his anger, you saw him getting drunk, you saw him beating you, but you ignored all those ones. You believe he will change, he will change. You don't marry somebody with the hope of he will change or she will change. You must be ready to accept what you find, that if it's like this and it never changes forever, I can endure it and I will be happy. I can accept it and I will be happy. But if your joy or your happiness will be based on he will change later, then that joy may never come. That joy may never be found. So let me just give you some guidelines as to your life partner. So I don't want to say the will of God for you. I don't want to use that language because it brings it back only to the spiritual and casts away common sense. So what I will say is choosing a right partner, not choosing the will of God. Because some people, once you say will of God, that means once I miss will of God, then I have entered into permissive. So I don't want to miss will of God. No, it's not like that. Out of many people in the Christendom, that is both people that are children of God, born again, there will be one or two or three or four that can give you peace, joy, and progress in life. It's not that once you miss one, because if you say once you miss one, what of those whose partner died? They have missed that one, and yet they chose another one and they were happy. So that means there can be two or three or four that can make you happy. It's just that God should help you, that you don't throw aside the scriptures, and you don't throw aside common sense, and you don't throw aside the help and wisdom of God in finally choosing which one will be most compatible for you. There are a few scriptural principles guiding what is good for me. And you must know that the thing that comes from God, it will make you good. It will not add sorrow to you. That's in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 20. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22. Proverbs chapter 10. It says, the blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he added no sorrow with it. If the one you are managing right now is adding sorrow to you and you are not yet married, is adding sorrow and you are patching up, hoping that he will change, she will change, you have opportunity now. You don't need to enter into marriage before you make a change. If he's giving you sorrow, take it that this might not be the gift of God, because the gift of God maketh rich and added no sorrow with it. Then the gift, the one that comes from God, if you believe is God giving you, it must be good, acceptable, and perfect. In Romans chapter 12, we'll see it recorded in verse 3 or verse 2. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. It says, And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So the will of God will be good to you, will be acceptable to you, and will be perfect in your sight. You will be happy, you will be excited if it is God that is guiding you aright, and not your confusion or a prophet that misled you. God bless you.